I think it's recording. And it looks like it is. Perfect. Okay. Hey guys. I have been meaning to do this for a couple of weeks since we got back from Vegas. I've had so many questions on the numbers training that we did on the comp plan. So this is more of the numbers training. We're not going to go through the first part of the compensation training that we did because the main part of the training was the vision and being able to see what is possible with consistent effort in your business. So I wanted to break this down for those of you who haven't seen it so that you start to understand where my belief comes from and why I am crazy. I mean, it is, most people are going to bed right now. It's 10:15 at night and I'm doing a numbers training because I said I was going to do it before I went to bed today. So I'm going to do it. Even though it's later than I planned on, I'm going to do it because I'm committed to it. So see, and I think it's because I have an understanding of what these numbers look like and what this business can be when you commit to it. So I wanted to start with just, what is possible and really hope you can wrap your mind around the numbers. So I'm going to read this really quick before I get started because otherwise I botch it trying to explain what I meant to say. So when you understand something, you're going to believe in it. When you believe in it, you're going to be more persistent. When you're more persistent, you're going to continuously improve. And when you continuously improve, you're going to start seeing results. And all of those results add up to big business. I mean, this business is all about everyday, small, little, consistent wins day after day after day. And they add up to major business. So if this doesn't get you excited, and here I'm doing this training in bed at 10 o'clock at night, I'm going to be too excited to sleep, but I'm done. But I think it's important that you understand where my belief comes from and where I know this thing is going, because you have the gift of timing. Everybody that is involved right now, every hour that you spend working your business right now is worth 100 hours to somebody a year from now, and 1,000 hours 5 years from now. I mean, being involved in the beginning stages of a company, in the beginning stages of an industry, of the CBD industry, you just have the gift of timing. So really take advantage of that. And if you can wrap your mind around these numbers and share that vision with other people, you're going to build a big business. And it's going to be full of people that love helping people grow something amazing for their families. So get your pens and papers out. You're going to want to start with having, and again, if I'm talking too fast or if you're watching this replay at a later time, make sure you pause it so you can write these numbers down so you really understand what they mean, and maybe go through it a couple times. And I'll be doing these trainings ongoing, on the page, but I really wanted to start with having this live recording that you could look at your convenience. So get a pen and paper out, and make sure you write down, I've got a chat going here. Thanks, Ginger. Ginger's watching. She's my happy assistant / one of our top leaders in the company, not just the Big Green Leg. So super excited to have her with us, giving some feedback for y'all too. All right, so a little over a long time goes a long way. So let's dive right in. This is what I want your chart to look like. So you're going to want to have 5 columns and then 4 rows going down. And you don't have to worry about the bottom part yet, but you really want to have enough room to write this chart. And here's what it looks like. So if you need to, take a minute to do that. But for time's sake, for the length of the recording, I'm going to keep going. So then what you're going to do is label the top across the first column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this business, you get paid, if you look at the compensation plan, 5 generations down in your tree of your root system, if you will. So you get paid 5 levels down. So you're going to write, if you were to turn it this way, for those who can see me, that's kind of what your tree would look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down this way. But to make sense of the chart, you're going to do it horizontally. And then in the rows going across, you're going to write U. So this is you, the size of your team. TGQV is total group qualified volume. So that's your total group volume for your whole team. And then monthly commissions associated with that volume. So hopefully by now you've gotten that written down and we can show you what this can add up to. So in the beginning, if you know anything about direct sales or or a business like this, you put in a lot of time and you're grossly underpaid for your efforts. And if you can wrap your mind around that quickly shifting to where you're overpaid for the amount of time that you put into it, you're going to grow a really big business, and it's going to grow and continue to grow for generations to come. So I'm going to show you what this adds up to. So across the board in our company, you get paid 5 generations down, as I mentioned, and the average advocate sells right around $500 a month. So that's what we used in this equation. And another thing I want to remind you is to hit the top of the comp plan, you really only need 3 really, really strong legs. But to have a really well-balanced business, you really want to focus on 5. So I did this projection based on you adding 5 people that want to build the business. So 5 people on your front line. And then from that, teaching them how to do average, right? And y'all are above average. So I know your probably sales are higher than $500 a month. And many of you have probably recruited more than 5 people. But for this projection, we're going to go more conservative and show you what the average person can do. The other things that this projection does not include, okay, as you move up in the comp plan, you get things like check match. So for people, everybody that you personally enroll, you'll make between 5 and 20% of their monthly take-home pay for helping them build a business. And that kicks in at the master phase. So we're not even focused on that at all. The other thing that this projection does not include is the enroller bonus of 6% from everyone that you enroll and everyone that they enroll. So that's an added percentage here that in this, I did this really conservatively because I wanted you to understand that at the bare minimum, this is what your business could look like if you stick with it. And I used the unilevel percentage that we earn. In our unilevel commissions, we earn 4% up to 5 levels down. And then when you hit the master phase, you start to earn generational bonuses. And I'll get to that in a minute. So again, for this projection, it is 4%, 5 levels down. So I'll show you how this builds. Okay, so you start building your business. You reach out to your first, 5 people that you are excited about building business with. They sign on, and you've got 5 people on your team. So in that top box, you're going to write 5. In the one and you quad, you're going to write 5. Here, I'll show you what that looks like. And then you teach those 5 people to do average, right? Sell $500 a month. So that adds up to $2,500 in team volume. If you can see that number there, I don't know if you can see my arrow or not, but that adds up to team volume of $2,500. And your monthly commission from that is $100. It's a lot of work, right? You only made $100. You've got 5 people now on your team. And this, again, this projection only includes the 4% and only includes your 5. It does not include your personal volume. So I want you to understand it doesn't, you can see my arrow. Perfect. Okay. So it does not include your personal volume. So if you're really strong at sales yourself, or you're a really strong recruiter, again, this is a very conservative projection. So even by the time you hit this point in your business, you're probably going to be earning a little bit more because you still have that 6% off your first 2 levels. Which ends up being 10%. So anyway, I'm not going to get in the weeds with the extras that this doesn't include, but I want you to wrap your mind around the basics. So, okay. So you've taught 5 people to sell $500 a month, and you made $100. And again, when they signed on, you also make that extra $100. This isn't included either. All right. So next, you do the same thing. You have your 5 business builders, and they want to build a business. So you teach those 5 people how to find their 5, right? Your fab 5. That's what we're really looking for. So those 5 people share the business with those 5 people, with their 5. And now you have 30 people on your team. So you now have you and 30 others. So what you want to do every month is add up these 2 numbers. So if you're looking at this projection, you're looking at, oh, I think we have someone that just joined. I'm going to mute you because we're in the middle of a recording for training. Let's see if it'll let me. There we go. Okay. Okay. So if you're following this projection on your screen, you've now added, let's see here. Okay, you signed up your 5 and you taught them how to add 5 and sell an average of $500 a month. So your team volume on your first generation, your front 5 is still selling every month at 500. Okay, so this is in a calendar month. And then their 5 together combined sold 12,500. So your total team volume, if you're following me, is what? 15,000, right? That would be your total team volume. And the amount of people in your team total right now is 30. And your total paycheck, monthly commissions, you're going to add up those two bottom numbers. So you had the 100 and the 500. You made $600. Not too bad, right? But still, that's a lot of work. You've got 30 people on your team. You're making about $600. Again, I want to stress right here and now, this business, you are grossly underpaid in the beginning. And many, many people quit between this jump, between 2 and 3, and the next jump, 3 and 4. So if you can wrap your mind around where this is going and know that you're a part of it long term, what this is going to build into, you're not going to quit. And that's why I'm doing this projection. So hopefully you're following along. Okay. So this is where it starts to get good. So you've added your 5. You've taught them how to do the same. Everybody's selling a lot of product. They're sharing, our amazing products with so many people. And then your second generation starts to add their 5. And they grow to 125 people on just your third generation. So again, if you're following this, you now have 155 people in your organization. Your total sales for the month, you would add up all of these numbers right here. So 2,500, 12,500, 62,500 on your third generation. I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see my finger. Hopefully you can see the mouse. So when you add those 3 numbers, your total group volume for the month, not including your personal volume, would be that number at the bottom, the 77,500. And your monthly commissions off of just your first, second, and third generation is $3,100. So you see how that jumps between 2 and 3? Okay. So you add those 2. Now, because you've crossed over that 40,000 for master, and you probably got the structure by now because you're right around 70, almost $80,000 in monthly team volume. Wow, that's a huge impact. You now get to earn an extra 2% on your total group volume as a master director. So you get an additional 2%, which comes to $1,550. So you add up all of these numbers here. So you add up 100, 500, 2,500, and 1,550 for a total monthly income of $4,650. Not too bad, right? Almost $5,000. And this is month. This is a monthly commission check. So, and again, I'll remind you before this next jump, this does not include E1, E2, or check match in personal volume also. This is just team volume. So here's where it gets kind of crazy. Like I have a hard time reading these numbers because they're so large. I have a hard time saying them. So here it comes, okay? Your fourth generation starts to build. These folks here on your third level are starting to add their 5, okay? It's about to get good. Y'all ready for this? Hopefully you can write this fast. Bam. Your fourth generation is building. You now have 625 people on your fourth generation. Some pretty deep roots. 125 on your third, 25 on your second still, and 5. Still, again, everybody's doing the average. They're all selling an average of $500 a month. Look at this. So this is just on your fourth generation here. So again, you're going to add up. If you look at this, if you're following along, if you understand this at this point, you now have 780 people in your organization right here. It's pretty awesome. And combined total, you're selling $390,000 worth of Green Compass monthly. To get that number, you add up all of the numbers on all your generations, because this is what's occurring in one calendar month. So hopefully you pick that up now. And then at the bottom, this number, your monthly commissions, you're going to add all of those up. Except now you're definitely at least a 1-star, right? Maybe a 2-star, not quite to 3-star. And you now get 3% on your entire volume. So, you know, on that 390,000, which is again, these numbers added up, 2,500, 12,500, 62,500, and 312,500 adds up to 390,000 in monthly team volume. Okay. And just that bonus off of that 3% off that 390 is 11,700. So if you add up all of these commissions, okay, your unilevel commissions, your just those generational commissions down 4 levels will be 15,600. What? In a month? And then next, okay, is this 3%. You add that to that number for a total of $28,850. That's not too bad. And a total annual income of $346,200. Y'all, that's massive. Like, think of what you could do with that. And we're not even finished with the chart. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around this. So hopefully you guys are following me and understanding how this thing really builds. Okay. This is kind of insane, right? Keep going. And again, I want to stress right here before we go into this last one, this has taken a long time. You know, in most businesses, it takes people 10 to 15 years to get to this point. I can tell you right now with Green Compass, you know, we're on kind of like a speed train, if you will. So it can go a lot faster if you work it because you have that gift of timing. But I want you to remember that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you focus on, again, this projection is the bare minimum. A lot of people putting in a little bit of effort and the lives that you're impacting with these numbers. I mean, yeah, we build teams because we make a bigger impact. That we don't build teams just to make a bunch of money. Like, the whole point of growing Green Compass is getting our amazing products in as many hands as possible, as quick as possible. And the fastest way to do that is by growing a team, because your story can impact others and then their stories can impact their others, right? Like, there's so many people that are going to be impacted because of your one yes. So I want you to wrap your mind around, you know, why and how this builds and what makes this possible. It's the heart behind it. And if you can wrap your mind around that and get excited about the numbers and the good that you can do with those numbers, then you're going to be here for the long haul and you're going to have a massive business with so many people doing a lot of good. So here it comes. I get chills when I go into this next one. Again, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm not going to be able to go to bed after this. All right. You all ready? Here goes. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm going to be sick every time I click on the button and do this training. Guys, your 5th generation is building. Okay. Those 625 people did the same thing that you did in the very beginning because you trained them how to do it. And your 5th generation alone has 3,125 people on it. So your total team now has 3,905 people in your organization. Holy cow. Your team volume just on that 5th generation is over $1.5 million. So if you add all of these numbers up right here in this column or in this row, 2,500, 12,500, all of these numbers right here that I'm pointing to, that's where that 1.9 comes from. So again, this is monthly commissions. So just off of your generational commissions, you add up these numbers right here. 100, 500, 2,500, 12,500, and 62,500. So your monthly commissions off of just your tree, just your 1 through 5, is $78,100. Like, what? I can't. And okay, furthermore, you're definitely at the top of the company by now because it takes 500,000 to be a 3-star, and you now have a total of 1.9 over almost $2 million in sales with your team. So that's where this number comes from right here. And then you add that $136,660 to the 62,500 for a total monthly income of $214,760 in a calendar month in commissions. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. But the fact that that's possible is just like mind blowing at this point. And I can tell you right now, we're just at a year in. We're in a couple days, we have our 1-year anniversary for Green Compass. And we have people, already making in between 4 and 5. To be in our first year of business, it's pretty incredible. So I just want you to think about that and think about, annually that works out to be, if you're making $214,000 a month, 760, 214, 760 is the total. If you add all those numbers together, you're making $2.5 million annually. Like, what could you do with that kind of income? Like, think about that for a minute. What kind of freedom would that give you? What kind of life would you lead? What kind of people would you surround yourself with? What kind of legacy would you leave for your family, for your kids? Like, most people can't wrap their minds around even a fraction of that. And the fact that this is literally at your fingertips, if you are consistent with your business, if you're coachable, if you show up, and if you continuously improve, like I said in the beginning, this is what you have the opportunity to build. So I know it sounds crazy, but it's possible. Network marketing is the only industry in which you can make this kind of income in this time period without the, extensive training and college schooling. I mean, so many classes and courses you need to make in most industries to do this kind of thing. I mean, what they compare network marketing sometimes to like NFL, like they make this kind of money. But they also get like lots of endorsements and stuff like that. I mean, that's like totally unrealistic for most people, right? This is possible. And if you learn the basics and are brilliant at the basics and you can teach people the basics, this is what your vision, this is what your picture could look like. But again, you're growing this so that you can get our amazing products in as many hands as possible. If you take that 1.952,500 number and you divide that by the average transaction, which I think is about $75, think about the number of lives that you're impacting because you said yes. I mean, that's what gets me the most excited, is the people that you're impacting along the way. And you have 3,900 people, 3,905 people right now in your organization whose lives are impacted in a positive way. They're making incomes for their families. They're, sharing CBD with their friends and family, which obviously is helping them too. So, I mean, you just have a chance to do something really big here. And, think about if our whole team was doing something like this. I mean, even half of this, right? Like, think of what we could do as a group if we were all making that kind of income together. And it's easier. Sometimes people think, oh, it's easier, I'll just go out and get some customers and sell products for yourself. But it's a lot more powerful to train others to do that, and your impact is so much greater if you can. So I hope this was helpful. This is just a huge way to make a big impact and helping a lot of people grow together and what is possible. So if you have any questions at all, I don't even think I said my name in this video, and it's probably going to be shared a couple times. I'm Jenny Burnett. Currently, I'm a 2-star master, director, presidential founder for the company. And I can tell you right now, we're not allowed to make income claims, so I can't say exactly where I am on this chart, but I can tell you that anything is possible. And, I really hope you can wrap your mind around the long-term big picture of what you're a part of, and know that, regardless of, maybe you say, maybe in all of this, you're like, I didn't sign up to make you know, $2.5 million. Like, that's not what I want to do. I love my job. I want to work. I don't want this freedom. I like my life. I'm good. I don't need this extra. Um, and my first answer to that would be, okay, fine. You don't have to make $2.5 million a year. You don't have to build a business that looks like this in your part-time hours. Your goals are your goals. I'm going to meet you where you're at. My second answer to you is, why not? Why not? Why wouldn't you want to build a massive business and become a millionaire in part-time hours? I mean, the fact that that's even possible is just kind of crazy. And with an opportunity like Green Compass and, the CBD industry and what's poised to happen in the next 5 years, this is kind of this projection on steroids. If you can wrap your mind around this and hang on for the ride, you're in a really good seat. And our company is so, they had us put together this training specifically to do at our Vegas convention so that you guys could understand really how good we have it. I mean, in our back office, we have live tracking. So you can literally see these numbers start to build in the middle of a month. And you have access to all of that at your fingertips. Another thing I'll mention on this projection is, you know, typically after you've been in the business a while, not everybody's going to work this business, right? We have great hopes and dreams for some people, but some just don't ever want to put in the effort, and that's fine. So what happens is, if they were to grow a team before they quit, or had people that did engage in the business that were underneath them, even if they weren't active in the business, our company has something called compression. So basically, the lines that aren't active compress immediately. So while we only go down 5 generations, if you have inactive people in between those legs, it bumps up that volume so you still make that commission off of them. I mean, that is like unheard of in the industry. And it also doesn't have a length of time on it. I can tell you, I came from a previous company where my projections with the company were way less than this, and I was pretty excited about them then. And something like compression didn't occur for like 6 months. And it was like the person had to go inactive and then terminate and all these things for that volume to compress. So the fact that ours occurs immediately, and they want you to see what your paycheck is at all times and have access to what exactly it's made up of in your back office, you can see that, is pretty remarkable. So um, anyway, I know I got off on a little tangent there, but I'm so excited to go over this with you guys. If you have any questions at all, or you didn't follow it, maybe rewatch it again, maybe take notes, and ask your upline, ask us any questions you have. We really want you to have an understanding about what it means to be in business. And again, I love this industry because you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. You have people who've done it before you, and we're literally just providing a roadmap to success. So if you can follow along and be coachable, um, you can build a really significant business and have a really big impact. So again, Jenny Burnett, I'm signing off. It's late. Hopefully for those of you who are watching right now, I've got a couple of you guys on here. You're able to sleep tonight. I get really excited about where this is going and how you guys are a part of it. So thanks again for popping on. And again, if you have any questions, shoot us a message, or you can comment when we share this link, and your leaders will be involved in helping you break it down if you have any other questions about it. So thanks again. All right. How do I stop recording?